Welcome to Midlife Moves, where we're figuring out this whole midlife thing one day, one workout, and one what the hell just happened moment at a time. I'm Heather, and if you're navigating career shifts, fitness goals, parenting teenagers, or just wondering when the hell we became the grown-ups, you're in the right place. Let's talk about the real stuff, no filters, just honest conversations and a little bit of chaos. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Heather Francis, and welcome to another episode of Midlife Moves. So first of all, if you were on YouTube, I apologize yet again. I think I open every episode apologizing for the mess in my house. And I just don't, this week was nuts. We had travel. We had to put our dog down on Friday. It's Sunday. This week was a shit show. And then yesterday I had a migraine. So you know what? Sometimes the house just doesn't get picked up, and I'll do it later this afternoon. It's fine. So anyway, so if you're on YouTube, you're going to have to watch it for a little while. Anyway, today's episode is one that I've been really curious about for a while. And the things that I learned actually really surprised me. It falls into the category of things we hear about constantly, but we don't understand. I don't understand. So that tells me that other people probably don't either. And that's peptides. If you spend any time on Instagram or listening to wellness podcasts, you've probably heard that word thrown around. Peptides for aging, for sleep, for recovery, for skin. And if you're anything like me, you've probably thought, I like that means nothing to me. I have no idea what that means. And you're just like, oh, peptides again. To the point that, so my producer and I have regular conversations about planning. We have a standing meeting that we talk about topics that we're going to cover on the show and, guests that we can bring in for those. And we talked about GLP-1s, and I specifically said, I don't feel like it's my place to touch GLP-1s. I didn't know that they're a peptide. I know nothing. I literally was starting at zero. So I was talking to a girlfriend about it, and she was like, you need to talk to Brooke Brennan. If you want to talk about peptides, you've got to talk to Brooke Brennan. She's an integrative health practitioner who spends a lot of time navigating these kinds of questions in a way that's grounded in data and labs and actual research, not just what's trending online. We talk about what peptides are, how they work in your body, who they might actually be helpful for, and why they're not a magic solution, but can be useful when they're used intentionally under medical guidance and as a whole body program. As always, this conversation is about curiosity and education. I'm not telling anyone what they should or shouldn't do with their own health. That is not my business. That is not my place. And I always urge you, with any of this, contact your physician. Work through your doctor. And Brooke even says, like, your labs are your dictator. She works through physicians, for this stuff too. With that out of the way, please enjoy this conversation with Brooke Brennan. I love Brooke. She's one of my new Instagram besties. Okay, I'm done rambling. Let's get into it. Hey, listeners, it's Heather here with a quick message before we get into the rest of the episode. I have been blown away by the level of support from you guys. I love seeing how much the topics resonate with all of you and hearing how the episodes make you feel seen. I genuinely appreciate the outpouring of support from everyone. If you've been enjoying the show, there are a few ways you can continue to support the podcast and the team behind it. If you aren't already, follow us on Instagram at the Midlife Moves Podcast. For more behind-the-scenes info on the show and our guests, check out our website, midlifemoves.co. Reviews go a long way. I'd really appreciate a rating and a review on the podcast platform of your choice. And finally, check out the merch store. It's a fantastic way to rep the podcast and help support the team that makes these episodes possible. We've got some great designs for t-shirts and totes available there. Thank you all again so much, and enjoy the rest of the episode. I am here today with Brooke Brennan. Brooke is an integrative health practitioner. She is one of my new Instagram besties, and I'm so excited to talk to you today about peptides. And we've got a couple other fun topics we're going to get into at the end. Hi, Brooke.
Hi. Good to be here. I know I feel like we've been talking for 20 minutes, so I'm like, it looks like a brief pause, and now we're just back again, which is great.
I can't tell you how many people I've told about this conversation that was coming up. And every time I'm talking to somebody about peptides, and they're all like, really? What are they? So you have a guide on your website that we'll get into a little bit. And I went through it, but I didn't go through it in detail because I needed to make sure I'm coming at this from like the beginner
I like
level
that. Yeah,
too.
that makes complete sense.
We're going to get into it.
Let's do it.
And so we're going to start at the beginning. What are peptides? Like, let's just
really
just
good
the basic.
I mean, I think that when people talk about peptides, it almost gets sometimes lumped in with like supplementation, but they're very different than supplementation. So peptides are short chain amino acids, and that's about as sciencey as we'll get today, but they're little like messengers. So they tell your body what to do. And we have a lot of them when we're younger. Like when we think about, we're both aging. You and I are both in our 40s. And do you remember like in your 20s, you could go out and stay out till 2 a.m. drinking, get up for a 6 a.m. class. Like your body felt so resilient. The best analogy I have is it was like our systems were on a light switch. When we needed them, they'd flick on. When we were done, they would flick off. And when we hit our like mid 30s, early 40s, it's almost like all of our light switches get replaced with like a dimmer. And every year they just get like a little dimmer, a little less sharp, a little late to the party. And I feel like for me, I look at peptides as a way to put my systems back on a light switch and take away those dimmers so that my signals show up when I need them to. Because with age, things just aren't quite as like on point as they used to be when we were in our 20s and had a plethora of all the things that we needed.
So I've never heard it or like our systems referenced like that, but that like feels right. Mm-hmm. Like it's like just like powering down a little bit
it is.
At a time.
Yeah, because I mean, that's exactly what's happening. And I think, again, being a midlife woman, again, you can kind of, I talk about peptides a lot with hormone replacement therapy because as we age, we hear that we might need HRT. You know, your testosterone might get lower, your progesterone, all of our hormones, right? They reduce with age. Mm-hmm. And I got on HRT 3 years ago because I was having perimenopausal symptoms. Mm-hmm. And when you replenish those lost stores, your body gets back in balance. And for me, peptides are very similar. They've replenished things that I lost over time where I didn't have as much of. Mm-hmm. And now my body feels back in balance. And I'm not playing that like perimenopausal whack-a-mole game where every month I feel like there's some new system that I'm then trying to read a book or listen to a podcast or grab a supplement or try to figure out, all right, well, this thing popped up and what do I have to do now? And I think when you get to the root of what peptides are, they may be a really great support for our aging systems. And that's how I look at them. They're like a piece of the puzzle, but not the whole picture because there's a lot more that goes into play as we age.
Okay. So we'll just reference social media because that's where probably a lot of us have heard of peptides, right? Like you see it all the time.
Like how For You page is very full of all kinds of.
So like if you're just seeing that, what should we actually be paying attention to when we're
That's a really
listening
good question.
to these buzzwords?
So I think there's two thoughts I have with this. The first one, what should we be paying attention to? First and foremost, it is your body. Mm-hmm. It is your body first, not what. Again, like we talked about before we hit record, like what I do that works for me might not be what works for you. And I think that the first key to anybody going down any kind of peptide research exploration is like, what's going on with your body? Like, what do you even know? Like, what do you know as fact? Like, what are your biomarkers? What are your, like I've worn a CGM, I've had a DEXA scan. I have an Oura ring, but we're in a divorce right now because I'm not sleeping and it just likes to yell at me and tell me I'm going through things that I don't want it to tell me. But the primary thing that I always start with people, if they're like, oh, should I get on XYZ peptide? Well, I'm not a doctor. I am an educator and a connector to the clinicians. But I'm always like, well, what's going on with your body? Like, what do you know? Like, what do we know? And that's how you know where to start. And that's how I knew where to start with my body. I had heard about tirzepatide first, which is a peptide. It is usually used for people with obesity and diabetes. So I originally on Instagram was getting a lot of very targeted information on tirzepatide and microdosing. And I had listened to some podcasts and I started actually thinking about it for my parents because I've got some aging parents and we have a lot of cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's, diabetes, cancer, all of the things like so many people do. And so I originally went down my like internet discovery of peptides for my mom and dad. But through my research and the scientific studies that I found, I realized that some of the issues I was having, like cholesterol at 260 and an A1C of 5.6 when I eat so clean, do all of the things. Those studies made me believe that at a small dose, it might work for me too. And that's when I really dug in. And I kind of stopped listening to social media and I really went to resources like NIH and PubMed, like give me the actual clinical studies. So while I think that Instagram is great for opening the door for different perspectives on peptides, I don't go to Instagram for fact. I don't go to Instagram for scientific studies. I think it's really important to go to actual science, like be grounded in research, be grounded in education, know what's going on with your body before you make any decisions.
I co-sign that.
I love that. Good.
So tirzepatide is a GLP-1.
It is. Oh, it's a GLP-1 GIP, so it's a dual agonist. The GLP is Ozempic. GLP GIP, which is a dual agonist, is tirzepatide. And there's retatrutide, which is in phase 3 trials right now, which is a triple agonist. So they all do different things, and we don't have to go into the science of it. But yes, it has an aspect of GLP-1 and a GIP, and that's the one I chose.
You chose that because of your labs.
100%. I have not lost weight on tirzepatide. And I think that's where, again, if we go back to Instagram, when I shared that I was going down this path, I was nervous at first because there is a stigma with being on a GLP-1.
Yeah.
100%. And I had, for all of the beautiful, good, like good for you, you know your body messages, I had a lot of the not so nice ones too. Like, who do you think you are? Are you responsible for sharing this? Why are you on tirzepatide? You don't have weight to lose. Like, you get people talk big behind a screen.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I stay so grounded in science and my data. So I went down the path of tirzepatide because I had cholesterol issues, A1C issues, and I also have really low leptin. Have you ever had your leptin checked?
I don't know that I have.
Like, do you graze? Do you feel like you're hungry after dinner? Do you have that like food noise where you're like, did I eat enough protein today? Have I had enough fiber? Am I going to stay full while I have to go pick up my kids?
Do you know when I have food noise? When I decide that I need to watch what I'm eating. If I'm just eating normally, I don't have any food noise. As soon as I put any restriction on it, I've got like loud food noise. But like on a normal day, no.
Yeah, which is a good thing. Your leptin then might be normal. So I love the rebellion because I also have rebellion. So when someone tells me I can't do something, if there's restriction, I'm like, oh, watch me go.
Oh, watch me.
My mom and
you
husband
told me I can't
both...
eat. Guess what? Guess who's going to eat an ice cream cake today, bitch? Yeah.
Yes. No, that is my life. Like my whole life. I'm like, if you ever tell me not to do something, I'm like, watch me work. You know? Like my father-in-law, like 13 years ago, told me I was going to have natural childbirth. And he's like, well, it's like getting a tooth pulled without Novocaine. Like, why would you even do that? He's like, I don't know. And I was like, oh, now I'm going to have to do it. And I did.
Guess what?
I was like, well, now I have no choice because I have to prove someone wrong.
Yes.
But no, I do think that anytime anything's restricted, right, we're going to think that we're missing out on something. But my leptin's 1.1, and that's a very low leptin score. And leptin is one of our master hormones, and it helps to create like satiety. So satisfaction after you eat, not a need for extra food. Like you're not constantly thinking about like, what can I have next? I'm not full. I need more. And that's where my headspace was. So again, in my research, and I will share all of these studies with you so you can share them with your listeners, the information was enough to want me to dip my toes in. So literally the second I ordered and had my tirzepatide and filled out my intake and had my doctor prescribe it, I booked labs for 12 weeks later because I'm like, the only way I'm going to be able to tell this story is if I have numbers.
Yeah.
And I redid my labs and my cholesterol in 12 weeks and I'm on a very tiny dose. Went from 260 to 182, which I have not had a 182 cholesterol probably since I was in my 20s. And my A1C went from 5.6 to 5.1. So these biomarkers that, again, for women as we age, we know in perimenopause, there will be shifts, right? We know our insulin resistance changes. We know that our cardiovascular systems change. But the neat thing about peptides, to go back to your point earlier, there are studies that say that there may be a peptide for every system. I have been on plenty and I've tried a lot. And I won't ever share anything with my audience on Instagram or with clients I work with if I've not tried it. So I am my own guinea pig. So I've gone down the path of trying everything to see how it fits and how it works. And again, my body might be different than somebody else's, but there are supportive tools available, and we don't have to sit around and just be like, oh, this is just 40. Like, I got so tired of hearing that and being like, oh, this is just the way I'm going to feel for the next, I don't know. I mean, I joke I want to live to be 120, but like, this is going to be the rest of my life, where people are just going to say, oh, your vision's going, that's just 40. Oh, you're having night sweats, that's just 40. Yeah. I'm like, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, but it's right. We can do stuff.
And we deserve to feel better.
Are they all injectable?
So yes and no. All the ones that I use are injections. So peptides are very fragile. And when you think about things you swallow and what happens in your stomach, you've got stomach acid, all of these things that break down like they're supposed to. Like, they're supposed to break down your food in your stomach, but they also break down peptides. So for an example, BPC 157 is body protective compound 157. It is a peptide available orally and in an injection. I am on it right now after my fat transfer. I am on an injection. The injections are really great and have been shown to be really great for systemic inflammation. I had surgery, so I'm on it for surgery because it can help with like tissue remodeling and recovery. But some people take BPC 157 if they have like chronic GI issues. And the oral version is really great for that because it's going exactly where it needs to go. But often if someone's got like plantar fasciitis, or they're saying, oh my gosh, like Michael has this horrible shoulder that no matter what, he still plays tennis, still plays golf, and still lifts, and he won't stretch. So when he pulled his shoulder before a work trip, I was like, do you want to try my BPC 157 for a few days and see if you get some lift? Because he couldn't even put a shirt on. And in 3 days, he was like, it's gone. And so I do think that, again, I'm sharing personal experiences on here. Everybody has their own story. But I've seen enough in my personal life to know that for me, they're a tool that will be a part of my wellness arsenal for a long time.
Because 157, that's that also, right, that's for the joints. Like, so my Michael also hurt his shoulder and also did 157, but he did the pill form.
Interesting. Did he have relief?
No.
Oh, well.
I'm going to give a couple of caveats there. I don't know how it was sourced. I don't know. We probably ordered it from like Amazon.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it was probably like one of those deals. So actually, we can talk about sourcing.
I think we should talk about sourcing. And I also think we should talk about like we talked about the bigger picture earlier a little bit about like, I think peptides are a piece of the puzzle. But when we think about our whole body and we are talking about like peptides for systems, every single one of our systems are interconnected. Like, I was describing it to a client yesterday. I'm like, we are our own ecosystem. Like, you can't look at your hormones independently of your gut terrain, independently of your immune system, independently of your cardiovascular. Like, we are all interconnected. So when I talk about how I got my labs done, I do think it's really important to know, like, what are your pain points? What are you trying to optimize? What are the things that are a priority to you? And how are you nourishing? How are you moving? How are you balancing your nervous system? How are you sleeping? Not good.
Yeah, right.
Because there's so much more to our wellness picture than a peptide. And I do think, going back to like things online, I often see people online basically saying like, this is my magic fix. This is my shortcut. This solved all of my problems. And really, I don't think that's what it is. I think it's a tool that can really complement a body that is well cared for, because our terrain really matters in how peptides land and how our overall wellness will result from a peptide. Well, and I think that's a really important conversation to have alongside us talking about peptides is, yes, they're a piece, but to me, they are not the most important piece. They're a supportive player in a game that has to be strong, really strong.
I will tell you that I have been hesitant to talk about GLP-1s on the show. As a very lean woman, having any kind of, with no medical background, right?
Me either.
Well, so like all I have are lots of opinions. So I'm very careful about what I say in terms of like the use of GLP-1s. what I love about your situation is it was lab directed. Like it made sense to your overall health. But I also think that with anything, not like GLP-1s, it could be absolutely anything. If you're not taking care of the rest of your body, those little things aren't going to matter.
I mean, they're still going to add up, those little things. And I do think like it's got to be, it can't be if or, it has to be and. And that's how I describe it to people, especially when there's, I mean, this goes back though, I've been a health coach for 12 years. I remember when people would come to me and be like, if I use this protein powder, will I lose weight? And I'm like, well, what are you doing in the other 24 hours of your day?
Yeah.
Like, what are you eating for your other meals? Like, let's look at the whole picture. This is not dissimilar to that. It's just, we're talking about a different therapeutic mode.
Yeah.
It's not a protein powder. Now we're talking about peptides. Science is evolving. Research is evolving. I'm getting older. Like the things I'm curious about now at almost 44 are really different than when I started 12 years ago and had tiny children and my cycle was regular and I slept like a baby and I didn't have
like a kind of normal person.
And
Oh yeah, I know.
It's called wisdom.
It's called wisdom.
Yes, it's called wisdom.
It's maturity.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not that though. I mean, I am not mature. I can, everyone around me can tell you that I'm like a 16-year-old boy half the time with my sense of humor. So
I am too. It's unfortunate.
But you have teenagers and so do I. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
It really works in my life to have a very immature sense of humor.
No, and it makes it fun. It makes it interesting for everyone. They never know what they're going to get.
No, that is true.
So peptides for like a cream for your face.
Uh-huh.
What is that?
Well, okay, let's talk about face. I actually got off the phone with my sister 15 minutes before this call, and she was talking to me about, we were talking about wrinkles and facelifts and everything, and hair loss. So I want to talk about GHKCU, because as you talk about anti-aging, that's where my brain goes. So that is a peptide. It's a copper peptide. And I got on this peptide in November because I had a different surgery in June. I had my breast implants removed. And I had diastasis and a double hernia. So I had a mini tummy tuck at the same time. And that was body trauma. And I lost so much hair after that. Yeah. And I got a little worried as I went down my peptide journey and started, again, deep dive research. There are so many options available. I decided to try a GHKCU peptide. And it's beautiful. It's blue. You take it for 8 weeks. And I was like, let's just see what happens. And my hair, I'm a hair twirler, like in the car. Yeah. I stopped shedding my hair. I stopped losing hair in the shower. I don't have to pencil in my eyebrows anymore. I literally just had this conversation with my sister an hour ago. And it also helps, well, it may help to produce collagen and elastin production. So I don't do Botox. I gave up Botox 4 years ago. And I just didn't love the idea of injecting a toxin in my face. I am not opposed to facelifts. I feel like I always have to put that out there. People think I'm very au naturel. Like I am not opposed to a facelift down the line. Yeah. But I will use everything in my power to figure out ways to delay that as long as possible. So GHKCU is it's a good option for me in midlife who doesn't want to do Botox, who wants to have full hair. I take some other like collagen supplements as well, but I had a beautiful result with GHKCU, and I'm actually going to cycle back on it in March because it's one of those ones that you can't be on all of the time. Like the GLP-1 that I'm on, I can be on that long term on a small dose, but GHKCU can actually like make your zinc go a little out of whack. So you've got to take a zinc supplement at the same time, and you cycle that 3 or 4 times a year. So I will be getting back on that in March to help post-op this time. Okay. But it's a great tool for people to research who want to try to look at anti-aging through another lens, like a non-Botox lens. Like I've never done lasers or peels or anything like that, but I have no problem with injections, which is funny because I thought the needle would really scare me, and it has not.
Where do you inject it?
I sometimes do the back of my arm, and I will take a chip clip, like a little chip clip, and I clean my arm and I just chip clip the back of my arm, and I'll stick my needle in my arm. I do my thighs. The GHKCU, though, in my experience, is best in your glute because some people can get like a little bit of a welty rash. So with GHKCU, if you want to get like specific, I leave it on the counter for an hour so it's not cold. I inject it in my glute, and then I get our Theragun or our foam roller, and I just foam roll over it for a little bit right after. And I've had no issues, but it can be like, the word I've heard used is like spicy, because it can kind of sting a little bit when it goes in, but I've never had that issue.
Is it a daily injection?
That one's 5 days on, 2 days off for an 8-week cycle. At least that's how I use it.
Sure. Yeah. And all of these you go through a doctor for. It's a prescription?
Yeah. So this is, again, like, now I think we could probably get into, say you're curious about peptides, say you know your labs. The next most important discussion is where you are getting them from. Because again, to go back to what you see on the internet, I will say the peptide space kind of feels like the wild, wild west. There are a lot of different distributors. There are a lot of different resources. And for me, peptides need to be used really intentionally and with medical guidance, because they are a medicine. They are a prescription, and not everybody needs to be on them. And there are certain people that have things in their health history that if you're not going through a physician to look through like an intake form, you wouldn't know if you need to maybe stay away from something or not. So I chose to go with a telehealth platform that is backed by physicians and has a 503A compounding pharmacy where there's some FDA supervision there, which that's important to me. I would rather pay for a peptide that is maybe more expensive to have a dedicated doctor, to have the trust in where it's coming from, than feel like I'm getting something for a less expensive price, but maybe from something research grade, just to be on a peptide. Like, it's not worth it to me to go that route. So I am all about medical oversight, medical supervision. Again, I'm not a doctor. I think I know what's best for me for the most part, but like, I still get a physical. I still love the fact that for every single peptide I choose to order, I have to fill out a different health intake that gets reviewed by a doctor. And some get approved for people, some don't. Some there's like some follow-up questions. Yeah. But I love that. And I am happy to spend a little bit more to get that dedicated doctor where like I can ask a doctor anytime if I have a question. I have like in my patient portal, I have a chat with my doctor where I can go in and be like, hey, like I got a weird rash on my stomach. I'm like, I'm getting this weird rash on my stomach. And he was able to say, maybe you need to inject someplace with a little more subcutaneous fat. Like, here are some other options on your body. And then I was fine. But I don't know. I love the data and I love having a doctor. That's really important to me.
Yes. I also co-sign that. I think that that's really important.
I think that we should just co-sign everything together.
We're just going to co-sign everything. I'm co-signing everything Brooke says. So I want to try that one.
I mean, my sister literally hung up and she's like, I'm going on there right now. But honestly, like when you think about...
Part of me is thinking my next question, and part of me is thinking, okay, what time can I look at this?
But like you, and you talk about like, and I've gone on, I know that you lift weights and we do all the things. We are not dissimilar in, I'm sure, our interests and our goals as 99% of the women I talk to. Mm-hmm. They are midlife women. They are midlife women who are like, look, I am eating the protein, lifting the weights, walking the steps, trying to stay calm, doing all the things. And like, they're just like, I just feel like something's not working. Like I'm broken. Like I'm not getting the energy lift. I'm not getting the metabolism shift I want to see. I'm not sleeping. Yeah. And I feel like I'm almost like a last stop. Like, I feel like people have gone, like, run the gamut. Yeah. They've done the podcast, they've read the books, they've maybe worn the CGM, had the DEXA scan, and they're like, I'm still stuck. And that's where I think that peptides may be a really helpful, supportive tool. Like for me, where I'm like, I've done all the things. I went vegan to try to get my cholesterol down. I went carnivore to try to bring my A1C down. Like, you can try to manipulate your lifestyle all you want. And sometimes you're going to need a tool outside of diet and lifestyle. Let's go back to our light switch analogy, to put your dimmer switches back on the light switch. Like, I joke with my husband all the time, like, if I could eat enough kale to like get rid of my 11s, I would. There's just certain things that I can't outdo with diet and exercise. Right. And that's where I think about peptides in that space, where again, it is not my entire wellness picture. It's a supportive tool used alongside all of the other things. And I have not changed anything else about my foundation. Like, my foundation has stayed the same, even as I've implemented peptides. I haven't changed anything other than the fact that I feel like being on tirzepatide and not having food noise and staying full, like I don't need to snack anymore, which is phenomenal. because I spend a lot of time in the car at like bus pickups with my kids.
Right.
But everything else has stayed the same. Like my foundation, my gut terrain, like all of that stuff is still a priority. And now I also have a tool that I use to make me feel even more balanced and not play that whack-a-mole game of every symptom just popping up and try to put them all back down again.
I think it's fascinating. Honestly, I think it's fascinating. And we'll include links to the guide, and we'll include links to all of the resources.
My role, I feel like in this space, again, I am not a doctor. I love to educate. And I think anybody that comes on my Instagram page will see I don't plan anything I share, but I share everything I'm going through in midlife.
Yeah.
I am happy to share about like my peptide journey. I am happy to share about, I'm on these new activators that I love. I shared about my fat transfer. I've shared about my explant. I shared about my hemorrhoidectomy, giving up alcohol. Like you guys get everything from me. And I am.
Did you have a hemorrhoidectomy?
Oh, I did in 2018. Because when I was pregnant with my son, I had external hemorrhoids that never went away and they were debilitating. And I still have women that come to me and they're like, can you please talk to me about your hemorrhoid and hemorrhoidectomy journey? So you guys get the most transparent version of me on Instagram, and I will share, and I have shared absolutely everything.
What did you have done?
I love this. I will talk about this all day long. This is great. I remember when I went to the doctor right after Evan was born in Boston. Oh, it's just from childbirth. It's going to be fine. It's just part of birth. Like, why do we get dismissed? Why? Like, why am I told that's my normal?
Yeah.
Like, why keep telling me like, oh, this is normal? Like, nothing about my body felt normal. Mm-hmm. So please stop telling me it is. Mm-hmm. And for women out there, it is really hard to be your own advocate. But I urge people to educate themselves, because the only way you can advocate, at least for me, is with really good education, grounded in science, right? Or grounded in your own self-experience. Like when I asked to get on HRT, my doctor said, we'll just put you on birth control. And I was like, I'm not looking to suppress my hormones. I am looking to replenish my estradiol and my progesterone. Also, my husband had a vasectomy. Like, I am not trying to not get pregnant.
Right.
Like, I had an index card in my hand and I was shaking when I was at the OBGYN. Like, it is scary to stand up to doctors because I think we're told that our doctors know best. And honestly, like, you know you best and I know me best. And I think we need to advocate for better for ourselves. Mm-hmm. And that's where, again, for me, being on peptides, like I'll take all the hate DMs because I feel better now than I ever have, minus the fact that I'm not sleeping, but I'm blaming it on post-op. But other than that, like my body feels better than ever.
Before we get too far into this, I want to talk about the surgery that you just had.
Oh, yeah.
You had implants.
For 18 years.
For 18 years. Mm-hmm. And then you explanted them?
I did, because I ran some labs and I had some weird biomarkers come back on an organic acids test. And the woman I was talking to was like, do you have breast implants? And I said, yeah, I actually do. She goes, oh, this is like a plastics marker. And I sauna daily. And when you think about it, right? Like you've got these plastic bags, mine were saline, but you still got these plastic bags in your body. I'm getting at 150-degree sauna for 45 minutes every day. Think about a water bottle in the car. They tell you not to leave your water bottle in the car because the plastics go into the water. But what do we think is happening in our body with implants? Yeah. So I got mine taken out and had them. I got them after Michael and I were married for like a year and a half. I wasn't going to replace them. So I had them taken out in June by the best doctor, Dr. Rankin. I'm going to shout him out because he is incredible and gave me a beautiful result. But I knew that a fat transfer was a possible second procedure for me. And I wanted to wait until I was very comfortable with my body. And I wanted to wait until Michael was very comfortable with my body too, because I wasn't going to make a decision for him.
Right.
And I wanted to make a decision for me. And we can talk offline about all of the funny things that happened in our bedroom with my post-explant boobs. Yeah. But it was, I mean, we giggled more than like we have ever laughed in our marriage. So I decided to get a fat transfer for myself, but also because it makes me feel more feminine. It's the body that I feel like I'm at the most home in because I was used to having implants for so long. And we went to Charlotte and I had that actually 2 weeks ago today was my fat transfer.
And you documented the whole thing on your Instagram. I mean, you were like brutally honest.
Because it has sucked. This part does not suck. The liposuction part has sucked. And it has been, and again, so many women found me through explant and so many women want to have a fat transfer.
Yeah.
And I will never come on and be dishonest.
Yeah.
So I will be fully honest. It has been a total mind F, this recovery. I know it's going to be worth it, and I know it's a season. But yeah, surgeries are hard. And I'm leveraging a different peptide stack now to help me with my recovery, because recoveries are different. Like, your body's been through like a huge trauma.
Recovering from surgery is hard, period. But what you went through was significant. But also, like, to your point, like, that's the body that you had for 18 years. You know what I mean? So, like, I've never had implants. So if I had a fat transfer, it would probably be very weird for me for a very long time to actually have a chest.
Would it be weird though, or would you love it? I don't know.
Oh, I'd love it. Are you kidding me? I would love every second of it.
I know.
I barely fill in like an A cup right now.
Okay,
so
that's
like,
how I was. I was like a negative A, and I had like a nice ski slope from my explant. It was a beautiful
It's real
look.
nice.
Real romantic.
I call them beaver tails.
Yes. I mean, there's also that terminology, which we can use.
Yeah, you guys are just learning way too much about me. Brooke's not allowed to come back on here again.
I think I should come back on every week. This is great. I'm sure we could find something to talk about all the time.
For sure we could. So the lipo is so you're very lean, like I'm very lean. So, but they still were able to gather fat from your thighs.
So this is where, though, again, research.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you guys are now. I'm going to beat this with a dead horse. I go into everything with so much research. The doctor I went to specifically works with leaner women. He uses smaller cannulas. He's really good at skimming fat off leaner women. So my body is pretty lean, but he was able to I had asymmetry. So I had 440 cc's put in my right breast and 360 cc's put into my left breast, which is plenty for me. Now, granted, I'm going to be swollen. 30% of what I have will go away because it's still swelling over the next probably 10 weeks. But I was thrilled. I would have been thrilled with 100 cc's. Are you kidding me? Like anything better than feeling a little deformed for me would have been a win. Sure. And he has given me a majestic chest. And I am very
majestic.
I've been using like the funniest adjectives about my boobs. You're like, I was like, they are magnificent.
Let me tell you.
I love them so. Even though they're bound in a sports bra, they're still magnificent. I love them.
They're still perfect.
Yeah.
Perfection.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said to my husband last night, I would really like breasts. And he looked at me and he was like, let's just get through this winter.
I mean, here's the thing though, too. Like, why not? Again, financially, absolutely. I understand when there's financial obstacles. But I looked at Michael and like, why not now?
Right.
Like, we don't know what's going to happen. Like, why not now?
Yeah.
And I mean, he can't say much because I paid for it myself. But
right. Well, right. Then there's that.
I was like, and you really can't tell. Again, he can't tell me what to do. He could try.
Yeah.
And he can lovingly coach me. But I don't know. I am all about women doing what's best for them. And there's never going to be a right time for everything. But I think life is short. And I think we deserve to feel good and confident and healthy and happy. And I will not shame or judge anybody for anything they choose to do for that. Because we just have one shot.
Yes.
At our life. So I don't know. And I think online, again, people can be kind of hateful and hurtful and they can say things, but my deepest understanding of that is that people push back in a negative way or a hurtful way on things that they don't understand. So for me, it's an education gap. It's an opportunity for me to educate. I never meet like hurt with unkindness with like my kids. I'm like, hurt people. But I do think that online, we as women, I think have a lot of obstacles of like women against women and things that people say. We're like, oh, this person's doing that. That's so silly. Or why is she doing that? Or why is she sharing about that? But we're all in kind of our own walk. And I just don't think that we should judge other people for how they choose to look or feel or be well.
I love that. Everybody is doing the best that they can with what they have.
For sure.
Everyone's doing the best they can.
Yeah. And there's so many free resources too. Like it doesn't have to be like peptides or nothing. I think that we have resources like grounding outside, sunlight in our eyes, getting good rest, drinking water, deep breathing or meditation or walking or petting your dog. Like there are things that we have that don't cost any money at all that I think sometimes we forget about. Yeah. Because there are a lot of nice to haves for sure, like peptides, but there's a lot of things that we can take advantage of for free from our home. that I think are equally as important to our mental and physical health.
Yeah, I mean, even just going for a walk.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you work from home. Is that how you work too? Mm-hmm. I mean, there are days where I feel like my anxiety is so ramped up. The only thing I can do is put my dog on a leash and go walk outside.
Oh, yeah.
Like I need a tall ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there is a definite difference in my mental state when I can get outside and when I can't.
Mm-hmm. Where do you live?
Significant. We're in Pennsylvania. We're right outside of Philadelphia. So we've had a rough winter.
Oh, I bet.
Everyone here is sad.
You should come to Florida and visit me.
I was just in Florida.
I was just in Fort Lauderdale. You were. Yes. I saw your pictures. It looked very glamorous and warm and sunshiny.
It was fabulous. It was literally life-changing. I got back and Brooke and I met through a mutual friend, Christine, who has also been on the show. And I sent her a voice note and I was like, this changed my life. And then I went on like a 3-minute rant about like all of the things that I'm adjusting in my life. Because like I was like, I have clarity. Like I was able to think and breathe and, not be sad.
Living in Florida, because we've lived here now, we've done like the up and down the East Coast. We've been in Boston, Charlotte twice. We lived in South Florida and now we're in Jacksonville. And being in a place with sunshine, it changes the game.
Yeah.
It changes the game for sure.
Yeah.
What else do you have for me, Heather?
I think what we're probably going to do is we're going to end it there.
Again, we talked through a lot of different things and I was trying my best to keep things very like 101 high level. I am sure you have listeners who want to get into the weeds. And I think that the important thing is that they have access again to good resources. So if we can, maybe share the studies I talked about.
Absolutely.
Maybe share the guide with everybody. And if people are curious about peptides or the process to get the medically, the oversight peptides, have physician oversight for those, they can reach out to me directly. I am happy to support people. I spend a lot of time on my DMs every day and emails just answering questions because really it is an overwhelming topic when you begin to dip your toes in, and finding someone who can help you is huge. I had a mentor that helped me and I just know how valuable it is to have someone that you can ask questions to. So I am happy to answer any questions. And if you want to share, you can share my how to contact me stuff maybe in show notes or something. So if people want to reach out, they can. But I am fully available to help.
And then if there was any one last message that you wanted to leave the listeners, what would that be?
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know if you can top all of the things that you've already said.
I feel like we had a lot of good little nuggets.
I think that you...
I guess at the end of the day, I think as women, we deserve better. And that's kind of the message I share with women. It's like, we deserve to not settle. And I don't think any of us should settle for, I guess this is just my life now, in any way, shape, or form, be it a job, be it a relationship, be it some kind of something that someone's going through. Like, I think that I love my husband, but I am a girl's girl. Mm-hmm. I am a woman supporting other women through and through. I think we can all shine. But I think that we get the short end of the stick often. Again, I love when they're like, she's a working mom. Like, we don't talk about working dads. Like, women are exceptional. Mm-hmm. We are priceless. We are 1 in a million. And I think that we deserve to feel like that.
Yes, I co-sign.
If there was a quote for this podcast, it would be like, I co-sign.
I don't even know what to say. I'm like, God, I just want to like write that on my wall. All of it.
Good. You can.
Okay.
I co-sign.
Yeah, I co-sign.
I loved it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you
I had
so
a great
much
time.
for doing this with me. I did too.
I loved it.
All right. And girls, I will make sure all of Brooke's information is in the show notes so you can contact her whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'm here. Never going anywhere. That's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, I'm like with my kids, like, mommy's always here. I am always here. I'm not going anywhere. Always.
All right, guys. Until next time.
Bye.
That's it for this episode. If you had fun, learned something, or just feel a little less alone in the chaos, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And if you want to keep the conversation going, come find me on Instagram at @HeatherMoves_, because midlife is way more fun when we do it together. Until next time, keep moving forward, or at least keep moving. See ya.